Cassidy, slow down, sweet cheeks. You're gonna... Somehow I managed not to fall backward onto my ass when my 3.5-year-old daughter came running and threw herself into my arms. "Hello to you, too," I wheezed, trying to catch my breath. "Hi, Daddy," she squealed as her little arms squeezed me tight. "Guess what?" "What?" I settled her on my hip as I rose to my feet and walked to the baby jumper on the other side of the family room. My 9-month-old, Daisy, was bouncing to her heart's content. She clapped and smiled at me, showing off her single tooth. "I got a new backpack for school," Cassidy announced, her chest puffing up with pride. "Hey there, sweetheart," I murmured to Daisy, then bent over to place a kiss on her fuzzy head. "A backpack, huh?" I asked, turning my attention back to Cassidy, who was squirming with excitement. "You don't start school for a few months yet, sweet cheeks, and it was coming up way too soon for me." I quickly understood why parents had such a hard time when their kids started preschool. They stopped being babies and became little kids who would grow up too fast. I'd always assumed I'd get married one day and have kids, but it had seemed far in the future. I was at the height of my career as a kicker for the New York Nighthawks. At 32, I probably seemed ancient in the sport to most people, but traditionally, kickers had a much longer career in professional football. Even when my cousin Carrie asked me to be the guardian for her daughter should something happen to her, it never crossed my mind that I would actually end up a single father. We hadn't been all that close, but we'd stayed in touch, and I saw her at some holiday gatherings at my parents' house, especially since they both still lived in my hometown in upstate New York. We were really the only family Carrie had left. According to my mom, her ex-husband's family was nothing but trouble, and her ex was the worst, an addict, a drunk, and a con man. My sisters were only 18 at the time, so I was the most logical choice, and it hadn't hurt that I was loaded. I'd agreed, assuming it was just a formality and nothing would come of it. But 5 months later, I received a call from my cousin's lawyer informing me that she'd passed away. Apparently, she'd been battling breast cancer and hadn't told anyone. Suddenly, I was faced with either breaking my promise, which would make me no better than her ex, or becoming a parent overnight. I chose the latter. I was terrified, but the moment the caseworker showed up on my doorstep and I looked into the pretty hazel eyes of those little girls they had me wrapped around their tiny fingers, I knew instantly they were my daughters. It was a tough assignment, but my twin sisters were amazing. As soon as they graduated high school, they moved into the guest house of the home I bought out on Long Island to share the job of nanny between college classes. One of the main reasons I'd chosen this place was because of the guest house. It gave them their own space, but they were only a minute away if the girls needed them.